Brumfield regarding the 2013 audit.
Didn't know it on the agenda.
You're on the agenda, my friend.
Well, the 2013 audit, we had just received a word back last week that we passed all areas of the audit. I did give you a copy of that. I don't know if you received one, but it was a good feeling for the assessor's office with what has happened and as hard as they have worked over the past 6 or 7 months. But basically what the audit confirms is that the assessments in Lincoln County are uniform, equitable, and fair. And to my knowledge, it's been the first time an audit has been passed in quite some time. So I commend the folks in my office for working hard and supporting the commission over the past 6 or 7 months to achieve that.
I mean, I think we all here really appreciate the job that your people have done. I mean, they worked hard. I know they spent extra hours getting things caught up and things of that nature. And it's really good when you pick up the paper and you read positive things about our county and about your office. And I think that all comes back to you. You lead that office in the direction that you feel it needs to be taken, and you've done a good job so far. And I'm impressed that we don't have all these looming cuts ahead of us and things of that nature, or having problems with the school system. And I think that all fell at your doorstep. And I think you did a really good job in figuring out how to handle it and get things done. And I think we need to thank our legislatures for some of the things they've done to help us with penalties that we may have incurred that we don't incur or are not going to incur. So I for one appreciate the job you guys do there.
I will add somebody had asked me what's the consequence now if we don't pass the audit in the assessor's office. And before Senate bill through special legislation, the penalty was there would be a school board penalty, a financial penalty. In special legislation last month, that was removed. And what was added to state code was that if an assessor's office would fail an audit 2 consecutive years, that the state tax commissioner shall appoint a new assessor for the county. So the oversight is very similar to education now in terms of if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, then the state will take over that department in the county. So we're good for 2 years. I plan to pass it every year, but we could potentially fail something next year and still be good for the following year. But so it's a good thing. Folks have worked hard, and you guys have been very supportive, and I appreciate it.
Well, I think the people up at the state legislature know Josh Brumfield's name now.
They know. They know.
At least they know when I talk to them, they do.
All right. Next thing I put on the agenda, there was some talk at the Lincoln Economic Development that we establish some type of planning committee in Lincoln County. And so I put this on the agenda, and this is from my dealings with the EDA and through the EDA and some of the people, board members on the EDA. They felt like as we move forward in Lincoln County that it probably would be a pretty good idea to advertise and establish a planning committee in Lincoln County. The Lincoln County Planning Committee will be charged with developing and implementing a comprehensive plan for policies and/or zoning ordinances. This committee will be appointed by the Lincoln County Commission. Of course, this is a work in progress. The proposed makeup of the committee will be 2 individuals from District 1, from each district, along with the President of the County Commission. These individuals serve a 2-year term and meet quarterly. The committee will be charged with developing a comprehensive plan for policies and/or zoning ordinances for certain county-related matters. And of course, the County Commission will ultimately be responsible for approving any such policies or zoning ordinances. So, as we move in with the development of Lincoln County, it seems to me as it's something that we need to be proactive in instead of reactive. When we have problems within the county as we have development, that we can you know, if there's citizens that have problems, maybe there may be times where we have to have some type of rule or regulation so that we can, you know, protect the character of certain communities. And I would like a motion that we could set this board up. Do we have a second?
I would second, I would like to, if there's some way, something this big, this magnitude, we need to have somebody get as much public input as we move on this, because, you know, it
Yeah,
affects that subject.
I think two things. One is get information on other counties' committee and see how they run the zoning and things like that. Plus, also get public input, maybe a couple meetings to see what they.
And maybe go out in the 2 or 3 places, something, because, you know, when you start telling people they can't do things in
Right.
a manner, you
Right.
suggest that you need to know
Well,
what they're thinking.
the rationale behind this is that we could set this up and as we move forward is to work in with policies and maybe bylaws for the committee and for the committee to work with the people of the county. And I think they, you know, as far as the makeup of the committee, of course, there's only 7. You know, in the future, it would probably need to be expanded. But this would be something that would, you know, where we would just initiate so we can get started.
Right, just thinking of the municipalities probably.
Of course.
Some representation.
Yes, but I just want to try to get this started, and I would like to advertise for this so that we can go ahead and look at different aspects. Maybe we would probably want to add members,
But
later on.
this all pertains to, you know, economic development, I guess, planning, because the wording here says policies for county matters. It's not going to be like a separate little government running?
No.
No?
No,
'Cause
no,
that's-
it's basically, you know, a lot of times whenever when you have business come in, if you have development that comes in, there are certain problems that come with that. There are certain things that can happen in a community that the community members may not even know about until it happens. But if there is no planning, if there is no zoning, if there's no type of special policies or rules, then when something does occur, then it could be a detriment to that community. So it's one of the things as we move, this board would be something that we could use to troubleshoot future things that would, you know, that would happen within our communities. And I think it's set up to preserve and protect the integrity of our citizens that are.
Just a thought on that line, you know, if we over on the Guyandotte River in West Hamlin knew there was gonna be a bunch of containers of MCHM put right above us, we'd have some maybe a little more say-so. If we had something like this in
Yeah,
mind or something.
Of course, and that's one of the reasons that I would like to do this. Do I have a second?
Okay, I haven't made a second.
You did? All right. No further discussion. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Okay. Next is Mercy Sims regarding the Route 3 water project, Alcohol Woodville water project.
I'm very disappointed that Mr. Flora left. I was pleased to see him and hoped he would stay. I promise I never read all of this.
JJ, thanks for staying with us.
Can't preserve, sir. Can't preserve.
Yeah. Much needed.
Oops. Thank you. Mr. Matthews, I would like to impose on you, if you would, to read the resolution and read B.
The resolution?
Yes, please.
All right, Lincoln County Public Service District. Resolution authorizing the acquisition and construction of improvements and extensions to the existing public waterworks system of Lincoln Public Service District and the financing of the cost, not otherwise provided thereof through the issuance by the district of $2.2 million in aggregate principal amount of water revenue bonds, Series 110A, West Virginia Infrastructure Fund, provided for the rights and remedies and security for the registered owners of such bonds. Authorizing execution and delivery of all documents relating to the issuance of such bonds, approving, ratifying, and confirming a loan agreement relating to such bonds, authorizing the sale and providing for the terms and provisions of such bonds, and adopting other provisions relating thereto. Do I need-
Can we read?
Oh.
Can we-
Be it resolved by the Public Service Board of Lincoln Public Service District.
No, number, or letter B down there.
Oh, letter B, I'm sorry. The issuer presently owns and operates a public waterworks system. However, it is deemed necessary and desirable for the health, safety, advantage, convenience, and welfare of the inhabitants of the issuer that there be acquired and constructed improvements and extensions to the existing public waterworks system of the issuer, consistent of extension of water service to approximately 114 new customers situated on Route 3, Lincoln County, together with all appurtenant facilities, collectively the project. In accordance with the plans and specifications prepared by the consulting engineers, which plans and specifications have heretofore been filed with the issuer, and other certain additions, improvements, and extensions to the existing waterworks facility of the issuer, consisting of radio read meters, water line extensions to Trace Creek, Meadow Branch, and Merritt's Creek, Alcohol, Bolger, and Mud River areas, tank fencing, backwash pump replacement, rehabilitation of 4 water storage tanks, the additional work, the existing public waterworks facilities of the issuer, the project, and any further improvements to extensions thereto are herein called the system. Is that all right?
Fine. As you know, we have no water at Alcohol, Boulder, and Mud River. I was here previously last month with the 02 and the 06 bond. Here is this all started in 97,344 with the Alcohol project, which consisted of 711 customers. The 80% was 569. The only part that was approved in the first phase was Garrett's Bend, which went through with case number 0151. Then at the turn of the century, when the remaining part of it became 558, which was the Alcohol Bulger. In the scope of the project says develop, plan, and specifications for approximately 33 miles of water line, 6 storage tanks, 5 booster pump stations, and other appurtenances to provide water services to approximately 711 customers in the Alcohol Garrett's Bend area. And again, the 80% of that says the water is provided by the Lincoln PSD. So you had, then when the project became too big, they decided it was too big, so they phased it. They did the Garrett's Bend, Molly's Branch, which was processed through the 97,344. The 558, which was the remainder part, fell under the 558. You have the 2 bonds. If you go to the bonds, I didn't want to carry down. One of them's 468 pages, the other is 550. You have the verbatim, same description in the 2 bonds, the scope of the project, in the 2 and 4. So, gentlemen, it's so obvious that we have a major problem here. That's why I had hoped that Mr. Flora would have stayed, because not only did we have a new public water, the the permits, there was a case, a rate race case, 1664, to increase the rates. It had the two permits for alcohol, 289 customers. Spurlocksville was 59. That's 348 customers they had included in their system that we clearly know don't. So that's a problem with the counts. Now we're down to this one, the 356 case, which we have right now, that is funded again. But we are short. They turned the project in. They shortened it to 350, from 350 to 320. They turned it in, but they did not have 320. It's now down to 298 because they didn't have all the monies on the people that signed. Irregardless, you have from the underrun money from Route 3, you have $440-some thousand, almost $500,000. You have what do they call it, the performa is 133%. The required was 115%. You got 18% plus $500,000. That $500,000 is not included in your funding scenario. So I don't see why this project can't move forward, because you got 18% plus the $500,000 enters into the equation. And I understand when talking to, I believe, Ron Gregory last week, Mr. Griffith has not got back to him. They have asked him to refigure this and submit it to the Public Service Commission because it cannot go out to bid. That is the only thing standing, is it going out to bid until the USDA gets that documentation from Griffith saying that it meets the performa. They're not going to allow it to go out to bid. But in lieu of all of these questions and these things, I have asked for a state investigation, and I have been successful in getting that. But we have federal money, and this has gone on. When we have, if you look at the bonds and you look at everything in these scenarios where you've got bonds in 2, you've got bonds in 3, you've got bonds in 6, and we know we only have one major project, got one. And you're like $6 million. With $6 million probably comes that double in grants. So, I mean, it's there's no reason all of Lincoln County shouldn't have water. So I am asking for your assistance in getting a federal investigation on this. Like I said, I have moved forward, and the state is already moving on it. So,
Well, looking at what you gave us, and this is the bond, this is the actual document that was used to secure the bond.
absolutely.
Correct. And these bonds have been purchased on the open market, am I
That's right.
correct? So it looks to me as if there's, looking at the language, this is a bond for the Route 3 Griffithsville, am I correct? This particular bond.
That's how they utilize the underrun money to tie it into the same 1333 case, which was very lucrative to accomplish what they have succeeded in doing, because then it slides right under the radar.
If you want, I will deliver the documents, if that's what you're
I
requesting.
have, you know what, I will have them all to you next week. I couldn't bring them all, but I mean, I was so frustrated with this, I actually thought about visiting the, and looking for some stash, if you know what I mean. But I didn't think Doris would allow me to find her husband's stash.
But, would we need a motion from the commission, for the commission to seek clarification?
Well, I think what would have to happen if the commission was going to do this, I would have to ask the prosecutor to look at this. You know, I mean, instead of just submitting it to, you know, because I don't know if it's our place to do it, or the PSD's place, I mean, the public
Well, you
service
know,
district over there, or if not. I don't know what the legalities of it
Yeah.
are, so, you know, if the commission wants to vote on this, it would be more, I mean, I would suggest, you know, a recommendation to the commission that we, or a motion to the commission that we go ahead and give this information to the prosecutor and see if he thinks
Take
this
his
is something.
recommendation.
Yeah, we would follow his
And
recommendation.
it's really pretty clear. All you have to, All you have to do is read the one thing, and you know there's no water
Well, and I
there.
think he can look at it and kind of maybe make get some idea of what's going on, plus, put us in the right avenue of where we need, how we need to go as far as progressing with it, so.
Well, we have a motion, and we have a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. All opposed? The ayes have it.